Imagine waking up one day and finding out you can't speak. How would your day look like? Picture this. You rub the sleep from your eyes, ready to belt out your favorite morning tune, but all that comes out is silence. It's like a scene straight out of a sci-fi movie, but bear with me. Let's take the usual morning hustle and bustle. Usually you'd holler a quick hello to your family, maybe argue over who gets the last piece of toast. But now it's a game of charades over breakfast. Next, you stroll to your local cafe for that morning cup of joe. But wait, the barista can't hear your order. Do you end up with a double espresso instead of your beloved caramel macchiato? And let's not forget about your chatty neighbors. How do you respond to their enthusiastic waves? A thumbs up, a nod, a full-on mime routine? So the morning has just begun, and already things are looking pretty interesting, huh? Now let's move on to the workplace. How would that board meeting go without words? Imagine this. You're in a corporate boardroom and suddenly the power of speech has left the building. It's a silence so profound, you could hear a pin drop. Even the boss, usually a chatterbox, can't utter a single word. You look around and all you see are wide eyes and furrowed brows, the universal sign for what the heck is going on here. Now, everyone's trying to communicate, but it's all just a chaotic ballet of wild gesticulation. The finance guy is frantically waving his charts around like he's directing traffic. The marketing guru is miming some elaborate story that nobody gets. And the intern? Well, she's just sitting there trying not to laugh at the absurdity of it all. Suddenly, a genius idea pops up. Someone pulls out a whiteboard, and it's game on. They start scribbling like Picasso on a caffeine high. Arrows, charts, doodles, you name it. The whiteboard quickly becomes a canvas of corporate jargon, a silent symphony of strategy. Oh, and let's not forget the video calls. Picture this. Everyone's on mute, but no one realizes it. The result? A digital puppet show of sorts, where everyone's talking with their hands and faces, hoping against hope that their message gets across. But amidst this wordless chaos, something magical happens. People start to pay more attention. They read body language, interpret signs and expressions, and somehow they understand each other better. It's a whole new level of teamwork born out of necessity and silence. And the boss? Well, he's finally learned to listen and not just talk. Who knew a silent day could teach him that? So picture a workplace without words. It's chaotic, it's confusing, but it's also creative and hilarious. It's a place where actions truly speak louder than words, where listening becomes more important than speaking, and where the silent can be golden. Who knew office life could be this entertaining without words? Ever thought about shopping without being able to ask for your size or color preference? Picture this. You're in your favorite clothing store, and you've spotted that perfect pair of jeans. You know, the one that hugs your curves just right and makes you feel like $1,000,000. But wait, there's one tiny hiccup. You can't ask for your size. Imagine trying to use your fingers to indicate your size. You're in the middle of the store holding up 7 fingers, then 4, then 2. The store associate looks at you with a puzzled expression. You, on the other hand, are breaking into a cold sweat as you frantically gesture towards the jeans and then back to your fingers. Now let's say you've managed to get your size across. The next hurdle is color. You've set your heart on that particular shade of blue, the one that makes your eyes pop and takes you straight from a day at work to a night on the town. But how do you describe this color without words? You're left making wild gestures, pointing at the sky, then at the sea, then at your eyes. You're practically playing a game of charades in the middle of the store. The store associate is trying their best to keep up, but their confusion is growing by the second. Just when you thought it couldn't get any more chaotic, you remember the shirt you saw online. You know, the one with the intricate design that you just can't describe. You're now flailing your arms around, trying to mimic the design. The store associate is on the brink of calling security, and you, well, you're just hoping to get that shirt. Shopping just got a whole lot more adventurous, didn't it? Imagine a world where every shopping trip turns into a hilarious game of charades. It might be a nightmare for some, but hey, at least it's never dull. So hold on to your shopping bags, folks, because this mute mall madness is just getting started. And what about socializing? How would a night out with friends look like? Imagine a bustling bar on a Friday night, filled to the brim with chattering patrons. Except, there's no chattering. There's just an orchestra of clinking glasses, the hum of background music, and the occasional thump of a beat from the dance floor. Oh. And let's not forget the sound of frustrated bartenders trying to decipher a flurry of wild hand gestures. Picture this, you're trying to order your favorite cocktail, the one with a name that's way too long and complicated. Normally, you'd just lean in and shout your order over the noise, but now, you're there, frantically miming shaking a cocktail mixer and looking like you're doing a bizarre dance. The bartender stares at you, a mix of confusion and amusement on his face. And let's talk about flirting. In a world without words, those cheesy pickup lines are out the window. You're left with your expressive eyebrows and a repertoire of exaggerated gestures to charm your way to someone's heart. You might end up looking like a mime on a caffeine high, but hey, it's all part of the fun, right? Imagine the dance floor, where the language of movement takes center stage. Without the distraction of small talk, everyone's dance moves suddenly become a lot more expressive. You might see someone pulling off a moonwalk, another doing the robot, and yet another attempting a passionate flamenco. It's like a silent disco, but with a lot more interpretive dance. In the quiet corner, you see a group of friends engaged in a game of charades, except now it's not just a game, it's their main mode of communication. You see them laughing, their faces lit up in delight as they guess each other's mimed phrases. It's a beautiful moment of connection, and all without uttering a single word. Who said socializing needs words? Gestures are the new cool. But let's not forget about those who might actually benefit from this silence. Imagine a world where the introverts reign supreme, where social anxiety is a thing of the past, and where the introverted geniuses among us can finally breathe a sigh of relief. Without the pressure of small talk, the world becomes their oyster. Picture this, the introvert, usually lost in the sea of chit-chat, now standing tall in the silence. The quiet allows them to think, to create, to innovate. Their minds, uncluttered by the constant humdrum, are free to wander and explore the depths of their imagination. And oh, the wonders they might concoct. And what about those with social anxiety? A day without words could be a day without fear. No more worrying about saying the wrong thing, about stumbling over words, about awkward silences. They're the norm now. It's a day where they can exist without the constant dread of conversation. Then, there are those who just need a break from all the noise, those who feel like the world is constantly shouting and they can't find the volume knob. A day of silence could be their sanctuary, a refuge from the cacophony of everyday life. But this isn't just about escaping the noise. This could be an opportunity to explore other forms of communication. We could learn to express ourselves without words, to understand each other through gestures, expressions, and actions. We might discover a whole new language, a language beyond words that speaks to our shared humanity. Sure, a day without words might seem like a nightmare to some, but for others, it could be a dream come true. A day to breathe, to think, to feel without the pressure of words, a chance to communicate in a whole new way, a way that doesn't involve speaking. Sometimes silence isn't so bad after all, is it? So, a day without words, quite an adventure, isn't it? We've traveled through a world of silence, from the moment we woke up to the hustle and bustle of the workplace, to the shopping sprees at the mall and even the social scenes. We've seen how life could dramatically change if our voices suddenly disappeared. Some of us might have been thrown into a frenzy, while others might have found a strange sense of peace. Consider your own day without words. How would you cope? Who would you miss hearing the most? How would you express love, anger, or excitement? It's quite the thought experiment, isn't it? But remember, even in silence, we find ways to communicate. A smile, a frown, a wave, a hug, they all speak volumes. So, let's celebrate this beautiful, noisy, silent world we share. And that's a wrap for our silent day. If you enjoyed this journey and want more exciting content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned and remember, even without words, life is quite the roller coaster.